to oppose the proposition. Black History Month is more relevant to black communities than Kwanzaa is. But just looking at the question, it's a bit like asking, whose life is more important, your mother or your children? Yeah. If you try to answer that question by selecting one, you give yourself major problems. Notice I didn't say your husband or wife or your children, or your husband and wife or your mother. Because depending on the state. But there's all. The Yam Festival is typical of many peoples in Africa, for instance. The Igbo people have Irishe, or Ikeji, or Iwaji. These are names of harvest festivals. These are Kwanzaas within particular communities and nations of people in Africa. You can trace harvest festivals right the way back to ancient Egypt or Kemet. Capitalism actually consumed now. So it's a critical problem.
We was given maps of Africa with the different countries, the 54 countries, and what we used to do, we used to colour it in. A lot of the times people want to criticise schools and other institutions for not doing enough about Black History Month. There's lots of events that are held during Black History Month throughout the country. There are so many independent organisations who put on sessions, lectures, tours, or even film screenings specifically for Black History Month. One of those organisations I know that does this is an organisation called Black History Studies, run by Mark and Charmaine Simpson. Significant. What that person has learned through going to that event or through a school lesson, a lecture, a film screening could change that person's ideology and concepts of how he views black people in history and indeed the individual self-perspective of this.
Kwanzaa, although initially a celebration that starts the day after Christmas and the New Year for 7 days. But the difference between the two is that Kwanzaa has got a very all year round connotation about it and a practice, because it's a way of life, not just simply something to educate you about. It's a way of life like that. But as far as history goes, some people argue it doesn't go far enough. Yeah. It goes back, most of it, to say 500, 600. In films, in the criminal justice system, crime statistics, issues of poverty, want, disease, disruption to society, rioting, social dependence, open representation of prison populations. These are issues that Black History Month do not address. You know, and I think these are quite important issues because they came from somewhere. And you know, I came here today with quite a few pages of historical situations to give it to you. But I'm pretty sure that over the years, and I'm quite sure there have been quite a few, I'm not quite sure what year Black History Month actually started, but I'm quite sure that we more or less hear the same information trottled out over and over and over again. I mean, History Month, without it having any solutions really to black people's problems. But, as I said, both ill effects and negative situations, as far as black people is concerned, they are never, ever an issue. We'll see nice films, we'll learn about the West Indian cricket team, we'll learn about all sorts of stuff. But it never offers us a way in which we can repair any of that damage. You know? Those things create great psychological damage towards people who have to actually endure that type of situation. And I mentioned an archetypal image. I mean, I did a bit of psychology at some stage or another during my nursing and stuff like that. An archetypal image is very much, it's a term used in geology, how rocks are built. Layer upon layer upon layer. And if you have ill treatment upon ill treatment upon ill treatment for over nearly 500 years, it will leave with you an image that it's going to be very, very difficult to repair. Kwanzaa, it's asked us to reaffirm the communitarian vision and values of African culture, to contribute to its restoring amongst African people in the diaspora, beginning with the Africans in America and expanding to include the world African community.
Deputy for the proposition team, Mr. Hinde.
I'm standing in a room full of beautiful people, because you are beautiful, and I'm thinking to myself, are we making history right now? Yes or no? I'm thinking to myself, well, DDA was formed a year and a half ago. It's had 25 debates so far. They made history. Usain Bolt done what no other sprinter done in his time. 9.58 seconds on the clock. Yeah? That source comes from the BBC online. I read my notes, Paul Lawrence. I read my notes. When he done 9.58 seconds, he broke the world record. He didn't just break the world record then, he created history in our day, in our time, 2008 in the Olympics. That's history he created. Is it more relevant than Kwanzaa? I don't know, you tell me. Black history is more relevant than Kwanzaa because to have Kwanzaa, you need black history. Is that it right now? We are creating history right now, in our days and our times. My son's taekwondo teacher is black. Now, when I was growing up, I didn't know black people could do taekwondo, let alone my son's taekwondo teacher being black. Do you know what that does to a young black child growing up? Black history is like the mother, yeah? Mother with a child. You can't separate, and he talked very well about children. You can't separate the mother and the child. Celebrating Kwanzaa, you are also celebrating black history. And
30 seconds.
I will say good evening.
The team being Sankofa philosophers, Wale, Rupert, and Ricky Stuck. And for the proposition team, the Panthers, Makanan, Sankofa, and Hinde Ogunlade. Before I make the announcements, can I ask you to check where you are seated? Do you have a set of colored papers, green, blue, and red? The winners and the runner-up will be given certificates. The winners, of course, will be given the trophy. So, ladies and gentlemen, a difference of 29 points. The winning team has scored 208, and the runner-up team has scored 179.
To really bolster your argument, and you almost did it, was when you were talking about what Black history brought to the table. You didn't monopolize on the fact that Kwanzaa offers a change. So when we're talking about relevance, we can learn all the history we want, and you did point that out. But what Kwanzaa provides us with is a template for change. And if anything is relevant today that we need is a template for change. And that's what Kwanzaa provides us with. And I didn't know that, I'll be honest, I didn't know that before I